Imagine walking into a furniture store, planning to buy just one thing, maybe a lamp or a chair. But somehow, an hour later, you're pushing a cart filled with candles, kitchen utensils, picture frames, plants, blankets, and things you never planned to buy. Sound familiar? It happens to millions of people every year. But here's the strange part. It isn't an accident. From the moment you step inside an IKEA store, almost every turn, every display, every shortcut, and even the smell of fresh food has been carefully designed to influence the way you shop. So here's the question. Are you really choosing your own path? Or is IKEA choosing it for you? Today, we're uncovering the hidden psychology behind one of the most successful retail stores ever built. Because IKEA doesn't just sell furniture, it sells an experience. And by the end of this documentary, you may never walk through an IKEA store the same way again. Most people think IKEA became successful because it sells affordable furniture. And yes, affordable prices helped. Simple designs helped. Flat pack furniture changed the industry. But those aren't IKEA's greatest invention. Its greatest invention is the store itself. Because unlike most furniture stores, IKEA doesn't want you to simply find what you need. It wants you to discover things you never knew you wanted. And that changes everything. The first thing you'll notice inside almost every IKEA store is that it doesn't feel like a normal furniture store. There are no long straight aisles leading directly to what you need. Instead, you're guided through living rooms, bedrooms, kitchens, offices, and hundreds of fully furnished spaces. It feels less like shopping and more like walking through someone's dream home. This isn't random architecture. IKEA calls this layout the long, natural way. Instead of sending customers straight to the products they came for, the store gently encourages them to explore. Every room introduces new ideas. A different sofa, a smarter bookshelf, a lamp you didn't know you wanted. The longer you stay, the more products you discover, and the more likely you are to leave with something you never planned to buy. But IKEA's strategy doesn't end with the showroom. By the time you've walked through dozens of carefully designed rooms, you've also been walking for quite a while. And sooner or later, most people start to feel tired or hungry. That's exactly why many IKEA stores include a restaurant right in the middle of the journey. It's more than a place to eat. It's a place to pause, to relax, to recharge. And when people feel comfortable, they're more likely to keep shopping. After lunch, most customers don't leave. They continue the journey. Now they enter the marketplace. This is where everything changes. Unlike the showroom, the marketplace is filled with smaller items. Candles, kitchen tools, plants, storage boxes, blankets, picture frames, things that feel inexpensive on their own. You tell yourself, it's only a few dollars. It's useful. I might need it someday. One item becomes two becomes five. And before you realize it, your shopping cart looks completely different from when you first walked in. This isn't about tricking customers. It's about understanding human behavior. The easier something feels to buy, the more likely we are to buy it. The longer we stay, the more familiar the products become. And familiarity builds comfort. Comfort builds trust. And trust makes buying feel natural. That's why IKEA stores are designed the way they are. Not to force decisions, but to quietly influence them. In the end, this was never just about furniture. It was about human behavior. IKEA understands something many businesses don't. People don't simply buy products. They buy ideas, comfort, possibility, the feeling of imagining a better home. Every room you walked through, every pathway you followed, every product you noticed, was part of a carefully designed experience. Not to force your decisions, but to quietly shape them. You walked in looking for one thing, maybe a lamp, maybe a chair. But somewhere along the journey, you stopped thinking like a shopper and started thinking like someone building a home. That's why millions of people leave IKEA with more than they planned. Not because they were tricked, but because the experience changed what they wanted. So the next time you walk into an IKEA store, look around, look at the path, look at the rooms, and ask yourself one simple question. Am I choosing the store? Or is the store quietly choosing for me? Because maybe the greatest product IKEA ever designed was never the furniture. It was the journey.